Welcome to Marketing with Russ, aka hashtag Russ Selfie, with my friend and amazing guest, Nick Reich. Here we go. Do you want to know how amazing people connect? Well, you're in the right place. Welcome to Marketing with Russ, aka hashtag Russ Selfie.
Thanks for connecting. And if you like what you hear, please share.
Special thank you to our sponsors, the Marketing with Russ, Kicking Cancer, Grind Be Gone Power Washing, Boulder Falls Inn, and Michelle Martin and Farmers Insurance. For information about Kicking Cancer and how they support those going through the battle of cancer, go to kicking-cancer.org. For more information on Grind Be Gone Power Washing and their power washing services, go to grindbegone.org. And for more information on Boulder Falls Inn and their amazing conference facility, go to boulderfallsinn.com. And finally, for more information on Michelle Martin and Farmers Insurance and all their insurance services, call 541-981-2616. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Marketing with Russ, aka hashtag Russ Selfie. So glad to be with you this morning and so blessed. You know, it is an amazing day. It's an amazing Thursday. It's a week from when I head off to New York for the cancer conference coming up. Thank you so many of you that have supported and prayed for me, and I appreciate that. You know, God has blessed me through this whole journey that I'm going through right now with cancer. But I'm telling you this morning, I am blessed by God, but I am thankful for my coffee. Yes, I can use that this morning. I'm sure a lot of you feel that way. It's definitely a hand. But thanks so much for being here today and just blessing me. And my amazing guest, Nick, who's going to be with me today. I'm just so thankful for all of you. You know, Marketing with Russ, aka hashtag Russ Selfie, is all about how amazing people connect. And there's people that ask me all the time, well, what does connection have to do with marketing? I'm like, just about everything. Connection and community building, in my humble opinion, is the foundation for any good marketing plan, any good business, really any good life, right? So I think that today you should think about that. Who are you connected with? Who are you building community with? If you're very intentional in that area, you can do amazing things. And so today we're going to talk a little bit about that in the marketing tip of the day. So we'll have that here in just a moment. But I'm just so thankful again you're here today. You know, I love to connect, and you go to russhedge.com. Russhedge.com is the one-stop shop for everything about Russ. There you go. You can find all the ways to connect with me, from social media to my email, phone number. You can even schedule time directly on my calendar. Yeah, you can, all by yourself. Schedule time to Zoom with me. I would love to get to meet you and get to know you better. So, and really have a true connection. So if you have time to do that, that would be great. But if you just want to find out about me, you can go to russhedge.com. Also, if you'd be so kind, our YouTube page is really starting to take off. And if you would just go to marketingwithruss.live, if you know the name of this show, you can find my YouTube page. Just type in marketingwithruss.live. You can open a separate tab right now. As we're getting ready for the show to get going, you can go in there and subscribe right now to marketingwithruss.live. And I'm telling you, you'll be blessed. Thousands of people on there that are just a blessing to me and value and a blessing to you. Not only can you see the past guests we've had on this show, on Russ Reels Live, on the Experience Live with Russ and Scott, all of that, you can also still connect with them. All their information is there. So it is really a great resource for you, really great community resource. So take a look at that today. So if you know my name, you know how to get to my website, russhedge.com. If you know the name of the show, marketingwithruss.live, you know how to get to my YouTube page. I'd also just be blessed and honored if you'd share this out. Let people know right now. Guess what, everybody? I know you're busy. I know there's a lot of things going on. We all got stuff happening, but guess what? Marketing with Russ is on. Nick's going to be here. It's going to be awesome. So you don't want to miss it. You can just tag them, put the @ sign, tag your friends, let them know it's coming. And that would be so great if you did that. I'd be so blessed and honored. Also, don't forget my book, Befuddled, Live the Life You Choose, and all my other collaborative books, all available at, I know this is going to be shocking to you, russhedge.com. You can find them there. But you can also go to Amazon and find them all there too. Look at my author page on Amazon, and you can get all the books there as well, and other online booksellers as well. So yeah, I appreciate that. So the one more thing we're going to do today before we really get this show rocking and rolling is the marketing tip of the day. So every week we do the marketing tip of the day on Monday and Thursday. And this gets cut out and put out separately besides the show here. It gets put out separately on social media, on YouTube, on shorts, and all of that. You want to check that out because what it is, there's simple little truths that will help you every day in all that you're doing. And I'm really excited. So we're going to get going with this today. So are you ready? Here we go. This is your marketing tip of the day. Develop a collaborative mindset. That's right. Let me say it again. Develop a collaborative mindset. If you want to really make things happen, we are better together. We don't have it all together ourselves. We need other people in our lives, right? We need to be able to work with people that know so much more than we do in other areas. So that's where collaborative spirit comes in. Even within your own industry, I will reach out to coaches and speakers and live streamers all over the world to be better at what I'm doing based on the amazing things that they're doing. So we rise together, right? Rising tide lifts all ships. And we also just become so much better when we work together. And it's more fun too, because you get to make lots of friends. And that's what it's all about. You know, if you have not read Dale Carnegie's book, How to Win Friends and Influence People, you've got to do it. It's a must read. That is all about connecting and building community. That's where the collaborative mindset starts. So today, don't forget that. Develop a collaborative mindset. And that is your marketing tip of the day. All right, there we go. That'll get cut out, put out separately. And now it's time to get rolling along and get Nick in the room because he's just patiently waiting, thinking someday Russ is going to let me in. Hey, Nick.
Good morning, Russ. How are you?
I am so good. I'm so good. I'm going to take a sip of my coffee. That's keeping me rolling this morning.
Absolutely. I'm excited just seeing that reel come in, all those smiling faces and great energy from the guests. So I'm honored to be with you.
Well, thank you so much. You know, I'm honored to have you here. And, you know, I really, truly believe what I was talking about, collaborating with people in different industries than the same industry. And I've just really enjoyed getting to know you. And Nick, I know how amazing you are and the things you're doing, but why don't you give everybody a little snippet? Who is Nick and what are you up to?
Yeah. So again, my name is Nick Reich. I'm here in Indianapolis, Indiana. And my focus is really on leaving the world a little bit better than I found it. My North Star is service. So everything I do is, focused on that. So I'm the founder and CEO of a coaching and consulting firm called River and Green. We do social impact consulting and leadership development coaching, work with a lot of founders, startups, emerging leaders, really trying to, pour into people, but also, focused on social impact coaching. And then through that, I love your marketing tip of the day because it really resonates. Through that work, I've created a community called Collab. So I'm the chief connector here at Collab. We have about 30 coaches, facilitators, and speakers. So really focused on leadership, culture, and inclusion. So what I know is I'm not the right coach, the right trainer for everyone. So, how do you bring a community, a collaborative community that works together to support one another, to amplify one another? And it really is a special group. And I'm really fortunate to get to spend time with great humans, like you said, to learn from and that you like, and they're all over the country. And then in my, other hat, I'm the executive director of a local nonprofit here in Indianapolis that's focused on food insecurity and hunger relief. So try to stay busy, and, collaboration and connection is extremely important to me in the work that we do. So.
Well, I think you need more to do, obviously, Nick. I mean, clearly you're not doing enough, but
That's right.
no, I love that. I love all that you're about. And obviously that's why you're on this show. But when we first connected and talked about that too, I just love the fact that you're trying to leave the world a better place than what you came into. And I'm all about that, giving and serving and blessing others. I have also been so blessed by other people. What goes around comes around. When you reach out, you connect, you bless people, it's going to come back to you when you really need it. And I think that all that you're doing, I just love that, because coming together and collaborating, coaches and speakers and all of that, it is so much more powerful. I'm getting ready to go to an amazing all-day workshop that is really all about faith and business, right? And some of the speakers, they're going to be there, like Tim Tebow and Ed Milet, and one of the guys from Shark Tank, and the founder of I'm forgetting all the people. There's so many great people there. Natalie Grant's going to be there. There's just amazing people that are there. But the reason it's so powerful is because all of these amazing people are coming together. They can do it by themselves, but they are so much better when they come together in a group. That's what I love about this. One of my shows, Russ Reels Live, I bring in several voices and we have a panel on a topic. You're definitely got to be slated for that show, Nick. I got to get you in on one, because we're going to talk about all of this, connection and collaboration and all of that you're doing. But, I think together we do make the world a better place. So give us some more meat about the things you're doing. So, I mean, you kind of gave us an overview, but I'll let you start where you want to. What is your real prime focus right now? And give us some more information about that.
Yeah, well, I think, we talk about leaving the world a little bit better place. There's a lot going on in the world, right? And some of these things, big systems that, are kind of unmovable, can feel daunting. And sometimes we don't know where to start. And I think so much it's really focused on, how do we change the world? It's one person at a time, right? So just getting up and really focused on, making the world a better place in my little corner of it, right? Because that's really all that I can do. So as I mentioned at River and Green, our focus is really meeting individuals and organizations at the intersection of where they are and where they want to be. So we do that through coaching and leadership development. We do that through social impact consulting, really focused on whether it's nonprofits, for-profits, individuals and organizations that are interested in doing good and giving back. So that might be volunteer for their organizations, corporate social responsibility, foundations, but also working with nonprofits and social impact organizations. And then again, on the coaching side, we have a great team that really is focused on how do we support young leaders, emerging leaders, middle managers, leaders of color, and really invest in what it means to be a great leader, and really invest in creating strong human-centered leaders moving forward. So we know what good leadership looks like, and the more we talk with folks, there's such a gap in some organizations and across the board on that implementation. So how do we help make that better? Because how we show up, how we impact others, how we impact those that work with and for us matters a lot, and it matters to those individuals, and it goes home and really has a ripple effect. So how do we create better cultures and better leaders throughout the organizations that we serve?
Yeah, I think what you said there that really resonates with me too is developing leaders with this whole collaborative mindset, with this whole team mindset. I think so much of the old style of leadership was C-suite and the peons down here, right? And they're all doing the work, and the C-suite's all making the money, and they're driving that's going on, but they don't really know what's going on the floor of whether it's, manufacturing or whatever business it is, the people that are really boots on the ground. I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that this whole idea that we're talking about, this collaborative spirit, this working together, this leadership of today and all that, when we come together as a company and we develop an inclusive, open, safe environment in our company where people can share and they can grow and we can work together to make things better. Often the people doing the little tasks, as we might call them, down on the ground are the ones that really know best about how we can improve, get better, and grow. Leadership, a good leader, takes all that into account, right?
Absolutely. And I think one of the things that we see a lot of is, a lot of investment in leadership development happens in the C-suite, right? And really, the important individuals, as you mentioned, that really drive this is, again, those leaders that are emerging leaders, newer leaders, middle managers that often get overlooked, that really have that direct impact on, the frontline individuals doing the work. It's such an important part of being able to invest in leadership development across the board. And one of the things that we often talk a lot about is how do these individuals and systems kind of interact? Everything is influenced and impacted by the individuals within a team, a division, an organization. So if we don't understand that dynamic, how those individuals work together, communicate, and how that has a ripple effect on, the culture of your team, your division, your organization, whatever it is. If we don't see that, then we're really being short-sighted and only looking at, the immediacy of some of these things and really not focused on, what's potential long-term.
Yeah. And, I love also when you were talking about the social environment and, your nonprofits and reaching out to make the world a better place and all of that. I think that when a company has the mindset to bless the community around it, that company is going to rise just through that. One of my biggest things as running sales and marketing departments, biggest part of my budget on advertising was spent giving to nonprofits and interacting with different events and the community. And I think a lot of times when we do those things, that's exactly what we do. We all come together, we rise together, we make good things happen. That comes back to our company. And I think that, a lot of companies even give their employees a day every so often just to go out and volunteer and do things. I think those things are so important because it drives and moves us forward together instead of, trying to set ourselves apart as far as we are so great and you guys are not. You're having that collaborative spirit through everything, right?
Absolutely. And I think that's where kind of in my other role as the executive director of an Indianapolis-based nonprofit called Pack Away Hunger, we do those for organizations. So it really fits those two things. It's kind of how I've connected those dots around helping organizations build those strategies. But then on the nonprofit that I lead, we use those corporations, so almost 7,000 volunteers in 2023, packing over 1.5 million meals for individuals in central Indiana and around the world. So just in the last year, we've shipped almost 1 million meals to Ukraine, Haiti, Guatemala, Honduras, but done through corporations, done through the faith community, done through civic groups and schools. So it really ties those things together that you're talking about, Russ, is the only way that gets done is by that investment from business, that investment from the faith community, from civic groups like Rotary Clubs or Lions Clubs or Kiwanis. The ability to serve and think outside what it means to be a global citizen, what it means to be a local citizen, right? And how do you build strong communities both inside and outside your organization plays a huge role in, that culture and how you're perceived. And I agree with you that it also plays a big role in your bottom line. So, I spend one part of my time helping organizations build those types of strategies, and another part of my time taking advantage of those strategies for an organization that relies heavily on corporate volunteers.
Yeah. Well, and I think people don't understand that I'm a big firm believer that you can't outgive God, and there's so many things in our community that we can bless other people. And what ends up happening is it's this magical math, right? And so I call it this God math. When you're giving to others, you're helping others, whether it's your church, your community, whatever you're doing, it ends up coming back to you. And people say, I don't get that. Well, let me tell you kind of what you were just talking about. You are then seen as this type of company, this type of individual. You are then seen as somebody who supports and gives and blesses other people. And what do people think? I need a company that makes the widgets I need. I'm going to go to this company because of their character, because of their support of the community, because of all the things they do. I'm going to choose them because of the type of company I see them as. And that's what I don't think people realize, that what you do affects you, your company, your bottom line more than you know, right?
Yeah. Absolutely. And internally as well, right? Because what we see is every organization has, integrity as a core pillar of our organization. But what does that actually mean in practice? What are the behaviors that your organization do? When you're able to give back, when you're able to support, when you're able to create that environment for your staff are better. Your staff are better leaders. They're more connected, higher retention, lower turnover, all of these things that happen. So there is an external piece to that, but there's also a really important component to building that internal culture to be able to drive towards some of those things as well. So it certainly works together in a really powerful way when you're creating that dynamic. And again, that doesn't mean that every organization has to take, days off for days of service, do all these things, but it's something. It's how are you thinking back the way that you connect as an organization for your people and for your community?
Well, and I'm a firm believer that it starts at the top and works its way down. Yeah, there can be great things that happen at the bottom and work their way up, but the reason they do is because the top down looks at that and pays attention to that. So I really believe that leadership and the head of your company is affecting what people see in the community, and affecting what the company internally sees. And if you have a good environment, I mean, there's so many people I know that will message me and they hate their job. They don't like going to work. That's just, it's a what's the word I'm looking for? It's a bad environment. We'll just say that, right? It's just not good. And so they don't feel part of the company. If employees feel buy-in, if they feel like their opinion counts, if they feel like the things they're doing make a difference, they'll do more of it. If you make them feel like they're small, unworthy, and it doesn't really matter, they'll spend most of their time looking for another job.
Yeah, exactly. I was actually just seeing on LinkedIn before we were hopping on, somebody posted, more than 50% of the workplace right now is actively looking for another job. And of those, over 90% said they would stay at their current employer if they felt like there was a path for growth and they were being invested in. So, you're 100% right that, we often view the people within the organization as being expendable. You hear even these things from leaders. Everyone's replaceable. No one's bigger than the organization, right? But ultimately, the organization is the people that make it up. So, investing in your people is, I think, the single most important thing. And by that I mean, again, your staff, your employees, but also your communities. I think it's the most important thing you can do.
Yeah. Well, I couldn't agree more with that. In fact, what you just said, investing in your staff, investing in your people. Oh my goodness. How much does it lift you when no matter what they do for you makes you feel like they care, right?
Yeah.
First company I worked for out of college, I was pretty arrogant coming out of college, thought I had it all together, and then reality hit. And I started in the mailroom. But you know what? It was an amazing company that made me feel worthy in the mailroom. They ended up promoting me and doing things for me, but little things they did, buying treats for the staff, buying turkeys at Thanksgiving, at the end of the year, giving everybody a month's salary as a bonus, just different things they did, just really made you feel like it counted. The way they talked to you and the way that they treated you every day. It was a wonderful place to work. In fact, probably my favorite job of all time was in the mailroom because it was very low stress and it was just a lot of fun because I got to run around and talk to everybody. So, but, uh, but that was a good place for me to start because it was an amazing environment. And I totally believe what you said that, what it was over half the workforce you said, right? That is looking for another job. I completely believe that. I mean, I talk to person after person after person that does not like where they are, does not like what they're doing. And I tell young people when I speak, I tell them, if you have just started into a job and you hate it, quit. And I just let that hang because then they'll go, well, I can't do that. It's not responsible. I need money. I'm like, well, okay, be responsible and find another job before you quit, but don't stay stuck in the place you are if it's a dead end emotionally, physically, whatever, in that job. Because all of this stuff, people talk about self-care so much, Nick. All of this weighs on you. It weighs on your physical body. And I've learned that so much through my cancer journey because keeping a positive mindset and keeping a good perspective on everything, even when life kind of sucks at times, helps you so much more than you know. My doctors tell me all the time, physically, you don't even know the impact that this positive attitude has on you. And it's true for all of us. So when you get into a toxic, that's the word I was looking for before, a toxic work environment, it's going to do nothing but drag you down and actually hurt you physically, right?
Absolutely. Your boss or supervisor has more impact on your mental health than anyone in your life besides your spouse or partner, right?
Yeah.
So you're 100%, and I think that's the opportunity for leaders, right? Because I truly don't believe that anyone comes into a leadership role and they say, you know what, I'm really excited to be managing all of these staff now. I hope I can be the worst, most toxic leader that these individuals have ever had. Right? There's likely very few people that come into a leadership role thinking that, right?
Yeah.
But yet we have these cultures, we have these toxic leaders. So where's the gap? How do we support and invest? Because I guarantee you that leadership development, that coaching, that support across all aspects of your organization is much less expense than the significant turnover that you're seeing with half of the workforce actively looking for another job. So the short-term investment in coaching and leadership development pays much larger dividends. And again, that's really being able to step out from that short-term view and look at the impacts that these things have long term, because ultimately, when folks leave, whether they're terminated, whether they leave on their own, the culture is impacted by those that stay, right? So how are you continuing to develop and support those folks? And it is often a very short-sighted view of how we support the folks in our organizations.
Yeah, no, you're exactly right. I think that people don't realize the impact that they actually have. We're all leaders. We all impact somebody. People need to get it out of their brain that they're not a leader, that they just don't make any difference. They don't have any value. We all have value. And we all impact people one way or another. And I think that when people come together with that mindset, it helps so much. And you're right. The people that stay in the organization are going to affect it. And especially when both ends are working together, when the top and the bottom are seeing eye to eye and actually making a difference, I've always told my team in any company I've been at that I'm always open to listening to what you have and to what you go, and I will always value you. Doesn't mean, excuse me, I'll always go with your idea. I may or may not think it's a good idea, and I ultimately have to make the decisions, but I'll always value you and your input. And yes, anytime that I can make a difference and make a change to make things better, I will definitely do that. So, well, listen, Nick, we could talk forever. You're amazing. The show time is almost come to an end, but I want to hear from you, kind of your golden nugget of today's conversation, what you really want people to remember, and then let them know how they get in touch with you, because I definitely am excited about all you're doing and I'd want to get in touch with you. So go ahead.
Yeah, well, I appreciate it. Like I said, for me, it's with anyone out there, what are the ways that you can give back and be a part of the greater good, right? And I think, it's, again, we can't all make all of these big, large systemic changes, but how do you impact each individual conversation that you're in, the people that you're in? How do you think about making your corner of the world a better place? I'm on LinkedIn, NickReich. You can find me on LinkedIn. www.river-green.co is the website there, river-green.co. So thank you for putting that up there. And yeah, similarly, my calendar is listed there. You can email me directly, easy to get in touch with. I'm similar to you. If someone reaches out, I will grab a virtual coffee and connect with anyone that, wants to have a conversation, because that's how we push this work forward, Russ. It's, being able to do what you do and, try to support one another along the way. So we're all just walking each other home.
Yeah. Well, I'm telling you, you have my full support. I love what you're doing. I mean, and we're going to have a conversation about how I can be more involved, because love what you're all about, what you're doing. I've been blessed to be to Indianapolis one time in my life. Beautiful city. Had a great thing at the conference center there, and was able to take all that in, where the Colts used to play and all of those things as well. A lot of fun. But no, I'm just so thankful for you, and what a blessing you are to your community, but what a valuable resource you are to everybody here today. So listen, everybody that's watching, I'm telling you, if you are not getting in touch with Nick already and have a separate tab open and connecting, you should be. Everything here today is clickable. We put it on the screen. It's been ticking along the bottom. It is all in the comments and in the show notes. So you can just click on it, everybody. One click and boom, you're there. That's all you got to do. You don't need to find it, search, nothing. There it is. So today I really encourage you to do that. He will bless your life. And I just appreciate you all being here today. So, hey, Nick, we're going to say goodbye to you for just a second as I wrap things up. But hang tight in the green room. I'll be there in just a moment. But thanks again so much for being here.
Thanks for having me, Russ. I appreciate you. Thank you.
You bet. All right, everybody. There you go. Well, listen, it's all there, guys. Keep looking at that connection information and make sure that you reach out to Nick, because you know what? Everything is worth the conversation, right? There's definitely things we all don't know, and definitely areas we all need help. And our heart sometimes just wants to get involved with things where people are doing amazing things that make the world a better place. And I'm all about that. So today, I just want to encourage you to do that. Thanks so much for being here today. If you didn't catch the marketing tip of the day, please do that. It'll come out separately on social media and YouTube Shorts, but it's also here in our show today. So I'm just so thankful that you are all here. Don't forget, we're here every Monday and Thursday, 8 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time for your viewing and listening pleasure. That's right. Not only does it go live, but it also stays on LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube forever, which means you can go back and watch a video podcast anytime, and you can see what's there. You can still comment. You can still share. You can still get in touch with Nick later. It'll still be there. That's why you all want to join my YouTube page, because there's so much value there. So to subscribe today, you just go to marketingwithruss.live. Please do that. You will be blessed by thousands of people that are amazing and that you can enrich your life with. So I just really, really encourage you to do that. Also, don't forget that we'll be back next Monday at 8 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time for more great guests, more amazing information. And tonight, don't forget, 4 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, we have Russ Reels Live is going to be with my good friend and amazing co-host, D. Scott Smith, as we talk about his new venture, the Waco Experience. He has moved to Waco, everybody, and we're going to talk about his new show, the Waco Experience. It's going to be amazing, and you're not going to want to miss it. Please tell all your friends, 4 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, Russ Reels Live today. And with that, going to say goodbye. Thanks so much for being here today. Always a blessing to be with all of you. Keep praying. I appreciate that. Love you all. See you soon. Bye.
Thanks for joining us for this week's episode of Marketing with Russ, aka #RussSelfie. Be sure to subscribe in your favorite podcast app so that you don't miss a single episode. Have an amazing day.